So today's inspiration was just a random thought I had this morning, and I've got to try this out. This is going to be, in my mind, this is going to be spectacular. I have no idea until we do it. So let's just roll that intro. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AKAAWOL. And today we are going to put together a pattern that I just came up with this morning. I have no idea how this is really going to turn out. So we're just going to kind of wing it here. I am, of course, starting off with the color palette of a rainbow because it's really easy. If you caught my previous video, I showed how easy it is to change up the colors to whatever you want to use. And so it's 6 colors, 24 strings, and we're starting out with this zigzag. I'm not sure how far this is going to go down, but we'll see. I'm completely kind of winging this. I have an idea in my head, and I'm really super excited about it. Like, I had a whole list of other bracelets that I was gonna create videos for, and then suddenly this came along and I was just like, oh my god, I have got to do this. So yeah, we're not going any larger than we had to. We're using the inner lines here. And this is going to be fun because of the mirroring effect that we do with these bracelets. That's like part of the whole, what's making this super exciting for me. So yeah. It's a little bit easier to actually paint inside the little boxes if you zoom in a little bit, as you can tell. Comes up there. So I'm kind of keeping track of the colors as they go along because I'm not quite sure what happens on the underlying parts of this one. And I don't want to get confused. Now, if you didn't know this, this zigzag here is actually the same thing as an arrowhead. The difference is where you have the center. This is like if it's the arrowhead was going off of the page. So that's going to become really relevant as we get a little further into this. And it's 5 going this way and then 3, right? We're going to need to know that later on as well because this is going to get a little bit weird. Okay, how far down are we? Yeah, okay. So, blue. So yeah, this is just a really crazy, I would try to describe what I'm going to do, but it won't make any sense until I actually do it, so that's like, there's really little point to it. What I'm essentially trying to do at this point, though, is establish the first part of this and see where the strings from this side come into play, and if I have to like change up the other 6 colors or how that's supposed to work. So my goal is to get the whole rainbow down this one side first. So we're all the way through red through blue. We only have one more. Oh, you notice I started off, I put in my color palette to start us off. I thought that would make the whole thing go just a little bit easier, and I'm not wrong. Mind you, I think this one would actually work out really cool with 12 colors. You don't have to just do 6 on these things. You could actually do a 12 color. And that's kind of perfect for doing, if you do the kumi loops like I do. Get a lot of people asking me about the loops. It's a kumihumo braid, which is a Japanese thing, and it requires a disc. So they're not difficult. They are not difficult at all. So if you're interested, you want to make it, you know, your work stand out, I definitely recommend that. Alright, let's bring all the rest of these strings into play. I'm not sure that these ones are going to be much of a problem at all. Like I said, this is really kind of weird. So, alright, let's just go with the colors red through purple this direction. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a chevron. I'm letting these colors just go straight. I have no idea how this is going to end up laying out on top. Let's see. Okay, that's interesting. So the red's going to come back again sooner. I kind of figured some of these things were going to kind of double up and whatever. What I'm worried about is if the two of the same colors end up next to each other. That's my worry. So far it hasn't happened. We'll see. And see, because we already had the other ones in there, I can see like the purple had changed direction, so this green has to change its direction. Oh, there's the orange was here. Okay. So yeah, these colors are going to get really, really, really mixed up. But that's all right. Like I said, maybe maybe you go 12 colors. Maybe you design it so that way these colors mix over here perfectly. I don't know what that would be. But yeah. I mean, obviously the red and the orange, they happened because of how the zigzags bounces it around again. It was just short. So you wouldn't be able to avoid that even if you'd used many colors. Now, this one went 5. Let's see, 4. 5. At some point, I want to go back to doing the zigzag. I'm thinking I'm not sure. I want there to be enough of the straight row that it's really super obvious. there. Let's do it from this point. So over on this side, because there's the middle, these two here are the same as the two here. It just ends up being bigger because you have this center row. So we're going to go back to doing the zigzags with the colors like this. Oh, that's going to be weird. There's a purple is our next color, and it's going to actually connect with the purple that was going the other direction. So that's a little bit weird. It might kind of affect how the overall thing looks, but that's okay. I mean, this is artsy. This is fun. Okay. Two, three, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I said, we would need to know how many spots there are in each of the zigzags. And to get all the way in the middle. So there we go. So this area here in the middle is going to be all stripes, and this area that is on the other side of this chevron is going to be the zigzags again. So let's see what we got. And the colors get so weird. Oh, look at that, it's red both directions. So because the purple's in the center here, I needed to go back underneath. So I think this is the color. It's going underneath. This one will have to change its direction so that way this can be over here. Interesting. Yeah, like I said, I came into this not knowing exactly how it would work. I just knew that I was creating like certain rules in my head, like that you had the zigzag going on the one side, and then suddenly this thing happens, and then it goes back to the zigzag. So yeah, okay, so far so good. Oh, that's funny. The other red has come out, and will be the next color to go underneath. Alright, and because the yellow does turn, the red actually goes where it's supposed to go. That's perfect. So this center area, if you hadn't figured that out, once we do the whole mirror effect, it's going to be like an arrowhead in that center area. So we have like a zigzag on the right, and then we have arrowheads on the center area. And that whole center area is going to create sort of its own little shape, which will be interesting. And I have no idea what some of these other colors are going to do. And that's kind of part of the excitement. So this is why we have to know what the underlying color is. We couldn't just pick a color and say these stripes are all just going to be rainbowed or something. That it just doesn't work. You have to actually see what strings you have where and use that to determine your directions and stuff. So, oh, that's unfortunate. This is a yellow coming straight down. Oops. Hit the black box there. Kind of falling behind on doing these inner color things, huh? So, that's interesting. The oranges sort of came. Wow. Purple, red, orange. That's an interesting coincidence. Neat. Too bad it won't be yellow for the next one. Kind of feel like there might be a way of actually doing this where you knew or you wanted to put the strings exactly where you wanted to. Maybe if I added a couple extra zigzags somewhere. I don't know if that would necessarily work out right, but alright. So blue is the next inner color. One at last. Wonder what the middle, this actual middle one will be. That'll. This is going to be such a mess to make. It's going to. I really honestly think I'm going to end up having to look at the pattern a lot just to pull this off. It's so different from anything I've ever done. Whoops. At this point, it's followed the little lines. See how you have to choose the directions here? Oh, so it's going to be green for the center. There we go. That was quick. Alright. So when the other strings go straight through, you just know this one has to go the direction that I'm following, because it's the only path it really could take. Missed the yellow here. Oh no. So here's was one of my fears is there's two reds. Only happens in one spot though, so I guess that's not terrible. The yellow seems to connect a few times. That's going to be interesting when we get to looking at the overall looks of it. Yeah, even if you did 12 colors, the first 6 come back through here an awful lot, so maybe that's not necessarily the best way to go. Hard to say. You can see we're just getting the last of the colors into their spots. This will be important when comes time to actually making this, is being able to see if I'm at the right spot or whatever, being able to see what colors go to which spot. Wow. Okay. Now we grab the tool for highlighting it. And we grab this first side. I'm all lined up on the lines perfectly. Awesome. Control C, Control V. Then we get the flip tool. Flip horizontally. Get the move tool. And are we snapped through the grid good? There we go. And then we layer and we anchor that layer. So that's all attached. Next we grab the select tool again. We get it to this bottom line. Control C, Control V. And we get the flip tool again. Whoops. Now we flip it vertically. Get the moving tool. Slide this down. It's snapped on the grid. We just have to get it lined up. You can use the arrow key for this. And then we anchor the layer. And now for the big reveal. Look at that. That is cool. That is so different. Wow. That's going to be really neat, guys. I really think this is something spectacular. So hey, if you're into these videos, you're into learning how to create your own patterns and stuff, you can help support this channel by going to Patreon, or you could just share the video on your social medias and get other people to join. That would be cool too. Be sure to like, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.